No matter if you're looking for something a bit different or a new car to build, these cars are some of the most underrated cars in the market right now and should definitely not be looked over for your next car. This list is not necessarily based on how good these cars are in performance or sales, but based on cars I don't hear a whole lot about or I think are less than appreciated in the body or the amount of power. I think the number one most underrated car in the market right now is the Fiat Spider. This car is mostly overlooked because it's just an upgraded version of the MX-5. I feel like this car can have the same energy as the early generation Miatas, but not quite aged enough to have the appreciation the Miata does now. I think the limited run of this car from 2017 to 2020 will make this a more sought after car in the future, as it ages similar to a lot of early 2000s and 90s cars. This car came with a bit of an underwhelming engine. In true Miata fashion, it's only a 1.4 liter turbo. I think the engine is a questionable choice since the MX-5 has a 1.5 and a 2.0 option. Since the Fiat feels like the more aggressive design-wise, I would like to see a 2.0 turbo version of this car at least. At number 2, we got the Hyundai Veloster. This car has a bit more of a mod community, but is underappreciated compared to something like the Genesis Coupe. This car is fairly large in the rallycross community. It can be an amazing car, but suffers from a lack of translation from the rally application to the mod community. I'd say the biggest flaw of this car is the weird 3-door design. It just kind of makes a weird body design and look. I'm personally not a big fan of hatchback cars, but if you're looking for a hatchback, this might be the way to go. While coming with a large variety of engines, in the first generation, the car came with a 1.6 and 1.6 turbo. In the second generation, the car came with even more engine options, a 1.4 turbo, a 1.6 turbo, a 2.0, and a 2.0 turbo. At number 3, I have the Chevy SS. This is a solid family sedan with a 6.2 LS3 with 415 horsepower. I think this might be one of the best cars that a lot of people just forget exist or overlook because it's basically just a Chevy Malibu. I think the best example of what this car is capable of is to look to Australia, where the Holden Commodore is a very popular car. For those who don't know, the Holden Commodore is just an Australian version of the Chevy SS. I would have liked to see this car gotten the support the Holden got. The Holden got 8 different engine options, including a 7.0 LS7. It also featured a coupe version and a lot more aftermarket support. Four is the Audi TT. This might be a questionable choice for the list, but I think the newer model redeemed this car, especially considering you could pick up a 2016 for around $20,000. I think the 2020 and newer models look a lot more attractive. While not an R8, I think it just gives the entry-level version of that. The car comes with a few engine options, a 1.8 turbo, a 2.0, a 2.0 turbo, and a 2.5 turbo. I think the best part of this car is the lightweight sport feel it provides. The 5th car on my list is the Elantra N. This car makes 276 horsepower out of a 2.0 turbo in a sedan, starting at a decent price of around $32,000. This comes out in the same pricing range as a Civic Si, but I'd like to argue this is a more attractive package. I think the design of the interior and body are worth taking a look at. I'd like to argue that these cars are fairly popular, but get overlooked due to not having a big title like Si or STI. The exhaust sound of these is definitely how a lot more cars should come stock. The most disappointing of the Elantra N is the front wheel drive and doesn't have a coupe version for the track. That was my list for the top 5 most underrated cars. Any likes are appreciated. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.